I'm Michael Strahan, and this is Super Bowl Support. All right, we're going to dive right into these questions. Here we go. Question number 1 is from Nippon Chopra, PhD. Smart person. Why do coaches spring to the locker room at halftime? Like, you've been talking to these players because they sit on the bench for much of the first half. What could you even have to tell them that they haven't shared already? Hashtag Super Bowl. Okay, you are telling the players about the strategy. Sometimes you're just motivating guys and you're just talking to guys. Now, the reason that you spring in at halftime is because you need to get into the locker room and address the entire team. Because on the sideline, you only have the offense at one point or the defense at one point. So this is the way for the coach to convey the message to the entire team, get in front of them, say, we're going to do this, guys. Tell them what to do, get them excited, send them back out there in the second half with a new, fresh frame of mind. That's why that works. All right, Lisa from Florida. So how much is the Super Bowl ring worth? What's the cost? Anyone know? Looks pretty snazzy. I have no idea because I didn't pay for it. You earn it. It's priceless to me. I love mine. The thing I have in my life with the most diamonds in it. I have no other diamonds pretty much except for that Super Bowl ring, and I wear it proudly. Nicole, why does everyone have to run from the locker room to the locker room, onto the field, off the field? Why all this running? Because if you don't run, you're lazy. It's psychological. Because psychologically, if I'm the opponent and I'm looking at you and you're running and you have all this energy, even in the fourth quarter, I'm thinking to myself, oh, this person never quits. Psychological. Plus, you know what? It means you're in shape and you're ready to go. All right, Jay Myers. What would be wrong with NFL overtime being given each team a chance from a select spot on the field, 40 or 50-yard line, with same rules, first downs, etc.? Just doesn't seem right that if you are lucky enough to win the toss and score a touchdown, that it is over. The other team should get a chance. Jay, you're right. They should get a chance. I hate it too. Teams are battling out. It comes to overtime. Both teams tied. You did a great job. You both should have an equal chance to win the game. GB Pack CA. Dumb question from someone that has been following football for a while. Can you explain what's a 5 technique and the other different stance? A 5 technique. You have the center, you have the guard, and you have the tackle. Anytime you line up head up on someone, it's an even number. Anytime you line up on an edge, it's an odd number. So a 0 technique would be the guy who lined up head up over the center who's snapping the ball. A 2 technique would be the guy who lined up head over the guard. And a 4 technique would be a guy who lined up head up over the tackle. But if you shift to the outside shoulder of the tackle, that 4 became a 5. The 0, if you lined up and you shift, becomes a 1. Then a 2 is head up, a 3 is the shoulder, a 4 is head up, and a 5 is the shoulder. That's how it works. Pretty simple. We're football players. We're not scientists. So we got to keep the numbers very simple. Okay? Adam Eberhardt. Non-elite football mind here. Why do coaches, when down 15, opt to go for 2 instead of kicking the extra point after the first TD? You know what, Adam? I don't know. I would kick the extra point after the first TD. Then if I'm lucky enough to score another one, go for the 2 then. You know, somebody says we want the good news or the bad news. They just get the bad news first. That if they don't get it, they got a lot of work to do. Bill B, why does every football announcer incorrectly call a reverse a double reverse? Like, how do they know the difference? All right, the reverse is if I have the ball, the quarterback or whatever, and I'm going that way and I pitch it to a guy going that way, that's a reverse. A double reverse, I pitch it to him, he pitch it to another guy who goes the other way, so you end up going the way that you started in the first place. That's a double reverse. I don't know why anybody would call a double reverse a regular reverse. I don't know, but that's what a single and a double reverse is. Thank you, Bill. At NFL, this is from Josh Sampson. I like that name, Sampson, strong. At NFL, why is the Vince Lombardi trophy always handed to the owner of a franchise first? Should be handed to the coach. Hashtag Super Bowl. Nope. You hand it to the guy who paid for the coach and everybody else on the team. The owner. Common sense. Come on, Josh. You know better than that. Jen. Me watching football with Jord. So, after a touchdown, then what happened? Do they go back to the middle of the field like center ice and then start again? Apparently, this was a dumb question. You know what, Jen? There are no dumb questions. So after touchdown, then what happened? Why don't they go back to the middle of the field like center ice and start over again? Because that would make it too easy. You kick it off, your team has to drive the length of the field. If you started in the center of the field every time you got the ball, it'd be too easy for most teams, the short field. And if you just got the ball on the 50 every time, it'd be an unfair advantage. XOXOCC makes me uncomfortable when all these guys kiss the trophy. It's weird, right? No! That's like your baby. I've worked all this time. 9 months. The baby comes out. It's mine. Now, if you see a guy trying to French kiss the trophy, now that's strange. But just regular lip, that's nothing big. Hockey, probably one of the worst. Because they get to take the trophy. Each player takes the trophy for like a week. I've been around some hockey players. I've seen them do some things with that trophy that you could not pay me enough to drink out of that trophy because they all drink out of it. You couldn't pay me enough to kiss that trophy. I'll stay at arm's length and just go like that next to it. Here we go. Larry B. Who remembers the classic battles between Strahan and Runyon? Legends. Hashtag SNF. Hashtag NFC East. Hashtag NYG versus PHI. I remember those battles, and that was one of the reasons I retired, because I couldn't take them anymore. They were beating me down. That was a big man. 6'7" or so, 340 pounds. Strong as an ox. Didn't like me because he's in Philadelphia and I'm in New York. Rivals. Cold weather. Taking a beating. Man, I want to go back. Nah, my body doesn't. Okay, there we go. I love those games. Mayro Denis. Guys, how do you manage watching football and at the same time tweeting about it with one of these emojis? Won't you miss some steps? Football, it's kind of a game that fast-paced sometimes, slow-paced other times, big play happens, nothing really happens sometimes, so you have time to tweet. But I prefer just to watch the game and not tweet at all. Jonathan Witter. Hashtag Super Bowl, earliest Gatorade bath in Super Bowl history. That was Bill Parcells, I want to say, with the New York Giants, created by Giants Hall of Famer and legend Harry Carson. Bam, there you go. History. Jay Bick. Can someone explain to me why NFL teams continuously hire some coaches who've been fired for being bad? In what career field does that make sense? Oh, these guys fired him because he sucks. Let's see if he still sucks for us. This dude, you were soulmates, brother. I've been wondering that too. You're bad over here. What makes you going to be great over here? But in the history of it, sometimes it works. Bill Belichick, Cleveland Browns. Bill Belichick, New England Patriot, greatest of all time, coaching. So I think you have to take chances. Maybe there's something this coach shows that you feel like works more in your system or your team than it does in another team. But I do get confused sometimes because when a coach has failed a few times and he still gets a chance, I personally, as an owner, which I am not, would say, I might as well try somebody young and new and fresh. Maybe I'll get lucky and catch lightning in a bottle and not hire somebody who's been canned somewhere else so that I can eventually fire them in a year or two myself. I don't know. Nate Bond. Are NFL coaching interviews like real people interviews? Are interviewers like, why do you think you would be a good fit for this position? Tell me about a time when you were struggling and what you did to overcome that. What are your strengths and weaknesses? You know what, Nate? They pretty much are. If you can't sell the ownership and the general manager, you're not going to get the job. Because if they feel that you don't believe in yourself, if you can't answer basic questions, if you can't tell them about your struggle and how you overcame them and how you're going to help this team overcome their struggles, because obviously you're in there for a head coaching job because the last guy struggled in that job. If you can't do that, you're not going to get it. So it's very much like a regular interview, maybe with a little bit more strategy about how you're going to use those players who are on that team to make that team better. And if you can do that, you can get a job. Nate, good luck on your interview. Marcus Mosier. Odd football question. What is more valuable, a kicker who makes a high percentage of short kicks or a kicker who makes a high percentage of long kicks but a lower percentage of short kicks? Okay, hell, I'm not here for riddles. All right, thank you, Marcus. Katrin, what is an audible in the NFL? An audible is, say you have a play called, and you get up to the line of scrimmage, and the defense comes up, and their play, the way that they're lined up, would make your play not work at all. You know, by the way everybody's set up, you have no chance. So you call it an audible. You switch it up. You make guys move around and change up your formation, and it changes it to a play that will work against the defense that you see. But offenses aren't the only ones with audibles. Defense has them too. So if we see they're in something that we don't like, the way we're lined up, we create an audible to put us in the right position as well. Football's like chess. It's like, mind games. Show something, be deceptive, and make a play out of it. They can expect something out of it, but it ends up being something completely different. That's what an audible is. It puts you in a situation where you go from a play that wouldn't be successful to one that you think would be. Jamie Flynn, do NFL players play fantasy football? Do they pick themselves? If their friends don't pick them, do they get a little sad? Well, I played fantasy football one time, then realized I was much better at reality football. So I stopped playing. Other guys do play a lot of fantasy baseball. They play fantasy basketball. If you're a narcissist, you pick yourself. And if your friends don't pick you, you don't get sad, you get even. That's what you do. Farhan Laji. Subtopic of the night appears to be, which at Super Bowl loss hurt more, hashtag Falcons or hashtag Seahawks? Oh, Farhan, it's a good question. I would say the Falcons hurt more. Seahawks hurt. Just give Marshawn Lynch the ball, man. Give him the ball. Game over. You win. You win 2 in a row. Now, me saying win 2 in a row is very important because if you're the Falcons, you've never won one. You're up. Huge. We're covering that game for Fox. I'm on the sideline going, I'm the only one that picked the Falcons to beat the Patriots. I'm looking like a genius. Then what do I look like? I look like a bum. Because the Falcons decided to do everything wrong that you could do to lose a game. They had never won one Super Bowl. And you had a lead to do it against the Patriots. I think that is a lot worse, and you will regret that for the rest of your life if you were a Falcon coach or player, sadly so. I look like a genius for a minute when I picked him. All right, here we go. Amanda, my boyfriend just said that there's a women's NFL. Is this true? Where have I been? Why haven't I seen this? Are there games I can go to? There is a women's football league, actually. Legends Football League is a women's league that was started a few years ago. It used to be named something else, the Lingerie Football League, but it became the Legends Football League. And now I think this year in 2020, it's going to become the X League. It's actually very cool. I love watching it. So make sure you find out, go online, check it out. Cat NFL. Dolphins fan. I see the Dolphin logo. Go. They played well at the end of the year. At NFL Film Study, if you had to guess, how many quarterbacks in the NFL are not allowed to audible? Most of them are allowed to audible. Because if not, you'd be a robot. And your offense would be stale and boring. Because you would sit in one look and every team would figure out what you're doing before you ever hike the ball. So every quarterback has some ability to audible, some more than others. Obviously, you had Peyton Manning, or you have Tom Brady, or you have Drew Brees, who they could do whatever they want because they've earned it. Then you have young guys who are new in the league. They have maybe one audible per play or on certain plays. It depends on how much the coach trusts you, if the coach is a control freak or not, and how good you are. The better you are, just like everything in life, kind of the more leeway you get. Brunchworth. What's the best play ever by a Super Bowl losing team? Ooh. Seattle. When they made that great catch by the receiver, juggling the ball near the goal line that put them in position to where they should have run Marshawn Lynch and didn't, and decided to throw a pass. That's probably the biggest one. Ian Hawkins. I struggle to understand why college football players would declare early for the NFL draft and essentially miss out on a bowl game. Why not just wait until after? Not having a go, I am genuinely asking, answers welcome. The reason that a guy declares and doesn't play in a bowl game is probably, it's kind of, in the perfect world, a guy would declare for a bowl game, the team would go to a bowl game, he would play. That's the perfect world. But now football's different. So now a guy declares, say he doesn't play in a bowl game, he's kind of thinking about his future. Saying, I don't want to get hurt. If I get hurt in a bowl game, then I'm missing out on potentially being a high draft pick in the NFL. So you have to weigh the risk and the reward, just the nature of the beast, if we like it or not. Football is life. Whoa. What do you call your fronts with? Names, numbers, or both? Explain why. Oh, man, it depends on the coach. Depends on the terminology. So most of them, it's very simple, man. It's very simple. It's like 3 words because we're football players. It's a lot to think about out there. It's a lot of pressure. Got 80,000 people screaming. You can't say double whammy, triple X on the Y with the Z, throw a little bit of mayo on that with a side of bologna. Doesn't work, dude. Ain't got that much time. You got to think too much. So it's really like, you know what? It's like a 3-word 32 blitz. Bam. That's it. You want to know what 32 blitz means? I don't know. It's been too long. I've voluntarily forgotten. That was Super Bowl support. You guys have a lot of great questions, by the way. But make sure you tune in to see the Super Bowl February the 2nd on Fox. See you there.